So for this video, I'm going to go over how to answer a question in a complete sentence while also using part of the question in your answer. It's really easy to do something like this. So for example, to where does the boa constrictor intend to go? Super easy. People will just write to Brazil. Boom. And they say, here's the answer, and you know what the question is because the question's there. But what happens if the question's gone? To Brazil. Well, that could be anything. It could be, where is the plane going? Or where would Mr. Fernandez escape if his ESL class came after him for something? I don't know. You don't know what the question is. So what you need to do is include part of the question in your answer, and that will make it a full sentence. So let's see. You take part of, so the boa constrictor intend. Now remember, you have to change your verb tense. So to where does the boa constrictor intend to go? The boa constrictor intends to go to Brazil. If you had something along this line, what are the two things the Dursleys hate the most? The Dursleys hate. Now this one's a little bit trickier because many people would assume that you just write the most and then include everything else. But instead, you would write, the Dursleys hate when Harry asks questions or talks about things acting unusually the most. If you even want to make it stronger, what I would do is, the two things the Dursleys hate the most are, and then you can put a nice little colon because you're going to make a list, and then you would add these two pieces right there, and then you press your period. Okay, so the way that you do this is you take part of the sentence, the part that isn't actually, or that isn't part of the question. So to where does, that's questioning. Where does, what does, who does, all of those are question parts. Why did, what are. So you have your question and usually your to be or your to do verb. So for example here, when they returned home from the zoo, why was. So this is your actual question. Why was Harry sent to his cupboard with no meals? And so a level 2+3 answer would be, Harry was sent to his cupboard with no meals because he let the boa constrictor loose. That's your level 2, level 3. Because you are doing what's right. You've taken the actual question portion, and so you have that here, and then you've answered the question. If you want to bump it up, you would include the extra information that the question includes. So when, and you could even go further, when the Dursleys returned home from the zoo, Harry was sent to his cupboard with no meals because he let the boa constrictor loose. Okay? So try very hard to answer your questions like that with full sentences and including the information in the question as well. It's a good habit to get into, and that way you never have to be concerned about your writing portion because most of the sentence is already there. All right, have a great one, everyone.